Hi, my name is Aziz Kapadia. Welcome to my course on Azure Fundamentals for Beginners. This is part 2 of the course. In part 1, we learned about cloud concepts, benefits of cloud computing, cloud deployment models, cloud service models, Azure accounts and billing, and how to create free Azure account. If you have not yet watched part 1, that's fine. You can watch it later. But if you are not familiar with cloud computing and want to know how to create free Azure account, then I would recommend to watch it first. In this video, we will explore Azure portal. We will learn how to configure the portal and dashboards, what is Azure Resource Group, and how to create Azure Resource Group. Let's start with Azure portal. Once you have created an Azure account and you have a valid subscription, then navigate to portal.azure.com and log in with Microsoft account credentials, which was used to create free Azure account subscription. When we first time log into Azure portal, it will show the home page. We can customize the portal and theme here. Portal appearance settings. Click on this gear icon to see the settings. Let's go through the general tab settings. First setting is to set what Azure will do if there is no activity for a certain time period. It would log user out or not based on the setting selected here. If you don't want to be logged out from the portal, then select never. Otherwise select an interval after which Azure portal will log you out. There is also a custom time setting option. Personally, if I am in office, then I would select 15 minutes. But if working from home, then I would go for custom setting of 4 hours. Next setting is for the landing page. It determines what portal will display when we log in. It could be home or dashboard. If we select home, then we would see same as now. If we change it to dashboard, then last selected dashboard will be displayed. We will learn more about dashboards later. Select the menu style. In flyout mode, menu is only displayed when we click on hamburger icon on the left top corner of the screen. Menu can be closed by clicking same icon again or by clicking anywhere else in the portal. In docked mode, menu is always visible, either collapsed or expanded. In docked mode, menu can be expanded or collapsed using the arrow button on top of the menu panel. Theme selection. Azure provides 4 theme options for the portal. We can select a theme according to our choice. I prefer dark mode. If we select high contrast theme, then it overrides the previous theme selection. Hover over the information icon to see the details. This checkbox enables or disables notification pop-up shown on top right corner of the screen. Let me refresh the page to see the pop-up in action. It pops up like this. Now if this checkbox is unchecked, then it will not show this pop-up. Refresh page again to see this time pop-up did not appear. Language and region settings. Select the portal language and format here. I would select English and English United Kingdom. Click on apply button if selection has been changed. Let's move to the notifications. Whenever an event occurs on the Azure subscription, then an event is added in the notification queue. When we first time log into portal, we should see something like this, which shows the credit available to spend. This menu item is for Cloud Shell. This is to run PowerShell or Bash script inside portal. Azure opens a new window at the bottom of the screen to run Azure commands. We will see it in action in another video. Let's move to the Azure menu. As we saw earlier, based on the flyout or docked setting, portal changes the appearance of the menu. I prefer fly out mode so menu doesn't take any space on the screen. Click on hamburger icon to display the menu. Menu is divided in two parts. Top part has 4 items. These are fixed and can't be changed. Bottom part is for favorite resource links. In the top part, first item is to provision a new Azure resource. Second is to go to home screen. Third item displays last selected dashboard. We will see dashboard in action in couple of minutes. And fourth item is to display all Azure services. If we click on plus create resource link, then portal shows a screen with all categories and some popular resources. Here categories are sorted in alphabetical order. We can search for the resource to provision it. Second part of the menu is for favorite resources. We can make changes in favorite resources. A favorite resource can be removed, moved up or down, or new resource can be added as favorite. If we hover over a link for 1 second, then it would pop open a small window. If we keep hovering for a bit longer, then it might expand to display some more information like description, links to page for more information about that resource, etc. Pop-up window also displays a solid star icon on the top right corner of the window. If we click on this icon, then item would be removed from the favorite item list. To add a resource link in favorite menu, click on all services link. It will open a new page which displays all Azure service categories and some featured services. Type couple of letters in the search text box. For example, if we want to add app service again in favorite item list, then type app service or web app. Azure will display all relevant services based on the search keyword. Hover over the app services and click on star icon. It will turn solid and a link will be added in the favorite menu section. New link will be added at the end of favorite menu links. We can rearrange menu links by dragging and dropping it in desired position. I wish Azure would provide some basic sorting option like sort alphabetically or by frequently accessed resources. All resources link displays the list of all the resources which are provisioned in our subscriptions. Let's explore how dashboard works in Azure portal. There are two types of dashboards: private dashboard and shared dashboard. Private dashboards are only visible to the user who has created it. Shared dashboards are those dashboards which are shared with other users in the organization. Access of the shared dashboard can be controlled using role-based access control or RBAC. We will learn more about RBAC in upcoming videos. Let's jump onto the Azure portal to see it in action. Click on Dashboard menu item to open the dashboard screen. Dashboard page contains last accessed dashboard, dashboard drop-down list, and a menu. Dashboard consists of various blocks. These blocks are called tiles. Menu contains various links to add, edit, delete, upload, download, etc. functionalities. We can view dashboard in full screen mode. This is useful when we want to use a dashboard on a monitor screen for some performance related chart for monitoring. Drop-down list box contains list of private dashboards and a link to browse all dashboards. Click on browse all dashboards link to open all dashboard panel on right hand side of the screen. It contains a drop-down list of dashboard types which are private and shared dashboards. By default, private dashboard type is selected and display a list which contains all private dashboards. As you can see, there is only one dashboard as of now. Select shared dashboards type to see all shared dashboards. There are no dashboard of this type as of now. We can edit dashboards. We can reposition and resize the tiles, delete tiles and add more tiles. To get into edit mode, click on edit link in the menu. We can also start editing using three dots on any of the tile and select customize from context menu. Dashboard is converted in tiled canvas and a tile gallery is displayed on left hand side of the screen. To add tiles, drag the tile from tile gallery and drop in the empty area of the dashboard. Context menu of the tile displays some predefined tile sizes. Some tiles can only be resized according to those sizes. But some tiles can be resized to any size we want. If this handle appears at the bottom left corner of the tile, then we can resize it to any size. Dashboard editing also can be started by resizing these tiles by this handle. Tile can be repositioned in the dashboard by dragging and dropping at desired place. Tile can be deleted by clicking delete icon button on right top corner of the tile. We can rename the dashboard while it is in edit mode. To save changes and finish editing, click on done customizing button on top of the screen. We can create entirely new dashboard. Click on plus new dashboard menu link. Azure portal opens a page with blank tiled canvas and a tile gallery at the left hand side of the screen. We can drag and drop tiles from the tiles gallery on the canvas. Let's select clock tile and drag it on the canvas. Select 24-hour time format option in edit clock panel. Selected location would be determined by the user's browser location. Change it if you want to display time of some other time zone. Click on Done button located at the bottom of the panel to finish editing clock tile. Drag clock tile again. Select 24-hour format and set location to display time from some other time zone. Let's select UTC plus 5:30 Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, New Delhi time zone. Click on Done button to finish editing clock tile. We can select as many tiles as we want to display on dashboard. Now select resource group tile and drag it onto the canvas. It can be resized to 6 by 6, 6 by 4, etc. Let's set the size to 4 by 4. Let's rearrange the tiles. Next, select and drag a video tile. Enter title Azure Fundamentals. Paste a YouTube video URL. We can select any YouTube link and paste it in the link text box. Click Done button when done. Rename dashboard to something meaningful. Click on Done customizing to come out of editing mode. Now we have one more dashboard. We can add matrix chart tile for CPU utilization, API performance, etc. that we will learn later. We can also delete the dashboard, export it as JSON format file and import a dashboard. I would suggest to play with those options yourself to gain more insight into dashboards. That's all about dashboards. Next, we will take a look into Azure Resource Group. It works as a container that holds related resources for an Azure solution. The resource group includes those resources that we want to manage as a group. Let's check Azure documentation about resource group. According to Azure documentation, we should consider some important factors while defining resource groups. All the resources in your group should share the same life cycle. You deploy, update, and delete them together. If one resource, such as a server, needs to exist on a different deployment cycle, it should be in another resource group. What does it mean that if we are using a DB, which is also used by other apps in other resource groups, then we need to deploy that DB in different resource group. Otherwise, if we need to delete the resource group, then this DB will also be deleted. Each resource can exist only in one resource group. This means we can't deploy a resource, for example an app service, in multiple resource groups with same ID or name. Some resources can exist outside of the resource group. These resources are deployed to subscription, management group, or tenant. Only some specific resources are supported at these scopes, such as resource group itself, tags, budgets, etc. You can add or remove a resource to a resource group at any time. You can move a resource from one resource group to another group. We will do it in later videos. A resource group can contain resources in different regions. A resource group can be used to scope access control for administrative actions. Resources in different resource groups can interact with each other. As we see, resource groups should be created based on same life cycle. For example, a web app is connecting to a database, then we might deploy both in separate resource groups and they need to connect to each other. When creating a resource group, we need to specify a location. Although resources can be deployed in any location, this location is required to store resource group's metadata. For compliance reason, we might need to store metadata in a particular region. If the resource group's region is temporarily not available, then we can't update resources in that resource group. A resource which is deployed in this resource group but in different region, that can still work fine but can't be updated because resource group's metadata is not available. Let's create a resource group in Azure portal. Hover over the resource groups link in favorite menu items and select create from the pop-up. If resource groups link is not in the favorite menu items, then click on all services, search for resource groups and hover over resource groups. Click on star icon to add it in favorite menu items. Azure will display a new page to add a resource group. Enter resource group name and select region from region drop-down list box. If we don't want to add tag, then we can click review plus create button, but it is advisable to add tags. Click on next tag button at the bottom of the page. Add some tags. Let's add project tag and value as test. Add one more tag, name it team and enter value as platform. Click on review plus create or next review plus create button. Azure will validate all the values entered to create resource group. If it passes the validation, then it will display a green bar with message validation passed. In case of any errors, it will display a red bar with message and we need to correct the error and click on review create button again. If successful, then click on create button to create the resource group. Click on notification icon to on top right corner of the portal to check the deployment. If it shows resource group created with button, then click the button to go to the resource group. That's it for now. In next part, we will learn about virtual machine, virtual networks, and how to secure network, and some more Azure resources. If you have not yet created a free Azure account, then create a free account, explore the Azure portal, create a resource group, and be ready for more exciting stuff to do with Azure in upcoming tutorials. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments below. Also let me know if you have any suggestion or question. Your suggestion would help me in preparing better tutorials in future. Thanks for watching. Please click on subscribe button and share with somebody who do you think this could help.